talked yesterday about. Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach, you talked yesterday about defense and rebounding, and when you look at what you held them to shot-wise, you turned them over. A lot of impact at the rim. So can you kind of talk about the defensive effort?
Well, I think Mo said it in Maui. He practices really hard, and because he practices hard, he's prepared. And I think we had very specific things that we worked on defensively that needed to change, and we needed to get back to getting stops, protecting the rim, and rebounding. And we won the paint. We held them to a very low number relative to their ability, and they've shown in other games at getting to the basket. And the guys were really dialed in to scouting report. They really, the things we were trying to do with Pac to make things difficult for him. And so I'm very pleased with how the guys responded to points of emphasis in practice defensively and rebounding, and then seeing a carryover effect into the game.
Hi, Bobby. Hodorvino, Devil's Digest. When you had that hockey lineup change after first minute, you guys go on an 18-0 run. Obviously, you wanted to send a message, but did this work even better than your wildest dreams?
I didn't know what was going to happen. All I knew is that we talked about rebounding. We had specific drills and they would tell you that a shot went up and whoever got the rebound played offense, or every guard and every player had to run to the paint to get a rebound, just so we avoided standing around and watching the flight of the ball and not going after the basketball. So and my thought was, if I don't do anything about this after giving up 2 offensive rebounds right away, then what I'm saying is meaningless. So that was my point.
Doug Franz Unplugged podcast. Bobby, you've been around the game a long time. Have you ever in your life seen an administrative, technical, a hockey line change, and a 20-point win by the same team?
Yeah, that hasn't happened. I heard, our names weren't in the scorebook, and it was a short, time to warm up, and our coaching staff was very focused on getting the guys ready to play, and that one slipped through the cracks, so that won't happen again.
In all seriousness, why were you guys so good from 3? What, other than you just got hot, but what was more X's and O's wise or ball movement wise that you liked?
I think sometimes if you concentrate on defending and playing hard and rebounding, then all of a sudden, like, the shot just becomes a natural thing that you do. It becomes second nature, and then because you're playing harder. I thought we played harder than them. So, I mean, I think I respect their coaching staff and their program. I thought we outworked them today. And because we did that, we were rewarded. We had quality shots, and the guys made them.
Reese Goodall, Cronkite Sports. Noah, you finished with 8 assists, your first or your most so far this season. What were you seeing out on the floor today compared to some of the earlier games this season?
I think the first couple minutes we really defensively we got stops, and then we could run. And then just find open guys, and then they make shots. So credit to the guys.
Chris Cartman, Son of Source. Bobby, with Marcus Adams getting it going tonight as part of your forwards shooting the ball well, what does that do for this team's potential on the offensive end?
Well, he missed so much time that it's not surprising that it took some time. But getting him back to the mainland and getting him in practice, and even our own players, not only the coaches, our players encouraging him to practice harder, to get some extra conditioning in. And that would be him, because I saw him encouraging Marcus after practice was over as he was doing additional sprint work to get himself back in shape. And you have to do more at this stage if you're him, because of all the time he missed. So he deserved to play well because of all the work he put in all week to get ready for this game. I wanted to say that, like, even to the broadcast team as we talked to them today about the game keys. Like, I knew in some way that he was gonna have a positive impact because of the way he practiced all week.
He ran 17 every day this week, and then ran again for 2 minutes, another drill, and then he shot after. Then 2:30, then I made him shoot after, then I made him shoot free throws. And did it every day this week. And then on our off days, I made him come in the morning. So.
And just to follow up with the players, what does that do for you guys offensively when it's spaced that well because of that three-point shooting?
Domination. That's what it does for us. So it's no steps back for Marcus. I'm back on him tomorrow, on Monday. and he back running them 17s.
Coach, you talked a lot before the season started about how you felt like this was a very coachable group, a group that would really hear you and listen and kind of mold to your style. When you put 5 new guys in the first minute of the game to send a message and they respond the way they did, how does that feel?
It just feels that it validates trust that you have in the whole group, and they were the guys that I took out. I think were excited that the guys went in, were having a positive impact on what was happening out on the floor, and you know, sometimes you go with your gut instinct, and you're right and you're wrong. Sometimes that time it worked, but it wasn't like they did something so bad that they all needed to come out. It was just more of like what we were talking about all week long, how we needed to get better at rebounding. And right away, it became an issue. And I just like how the unit that came in responded, and the guys on the bench, how the next time they came in, they jumped right back into the flow of the game.
You guys were obviously in control for most of this one. But in games later down the line, when things might not be, maybe ball doesn't spin your way and things aren't breaking your way, how important is that trust going to be?
I mean, we specifically brought in a number of guys to play and to have a deeper team than we had last year, have more options. This group, I always thought would get better because of how late guys got to campus and how little amount of time, and we had injuries as well. So just getting them all on the same page was something that's pretty cool. I think the other thing I want to mention is Trevor Best too, because that guy, like, you know, he got squeezed a little bit in the rotation, and you know, other guys, you know, kind of stepped up, and he was kind of the odd man out. But he's had a great attitude. He's come to practice every day. Hasn't been a negative. Has been positive to his teammates. And then when he got his number called, he helped us in the first half, especially.
Yeah. I seen it. He was out there guarding. Yeah.
Ethan Ignatowski, Cronkite Sports. You mentioned winning in the paint, but how much of a point of emphasis coming into today was it to get into the paint, score those points, and get to the line?
I mean, it was really kind of a clinic on offense. I thought, you know, just our shot making, our execution, scoring in transition, and it all started with our mentality and our mindset on defense to rebound and get stops. And we did what we were supposed to do, held them to 35%, 20-something in the first half. But we'll get a lot out of hopefully learning how to play, you know, with the lead better. And you know, I said to the guys, towing that line of staying aggressive but not doing something crazy and letting the team back in the game. And that's what was happening a little bit in the second half. So we got to do a little bit better job of that.
For Mo and Coach, as you guys kind of ramped up that practice intensity that you were talking about, what kind of were the responses from the team that you noticed immediately, and both kind of what you're expecting as that continues?
Want to go first? No. All right. Well, I think this was scary for me because I did the Atlantis a few years ago, and it was 3 straight games and travel, and then come home, and then the guys were shot against Washington State. Like, I had no legs, no energy. Like, we scored 29 points, I think, and it was like all I kept thinking about from when Maui ended until this game was, what did I do everything I needed to do to get them right to be ready to practice. So it was days off to get their legs fresh again. Then it was hard practices. Then it was maybe another day off, and then like we had a good prep coming in. So I think our mind was right, and physically I think they were ready for the game tonight.
Yeah, I just basically told them when we got back the first practice, I just told them, like, Maui's over, Hawaii's over. That was last month. This is a whole new month. And the tournament don't start in March. It starts in, the tournament starts in March. It don't start in November. I keep messing that up. But yeah.
Right.
For Mo and Noah, you guys combined for 14 of the team's 17 assists tonight. You guys being the primary playmakers on the team, and the offense kind of clicking more since Hawaii and into now this game tonight. What are you guys both seeing on the floor, and how you can, you know, find guys and make guys better on the court?
Yeah, it just it should have been happening earlier. It's just we just didn't make shots. We made shots tonight. Noah swung the ball. I swung the ball, and we were just playing team basketball. And we just made shots. You know, basketball is just all about if it's the ball gonna go in or not. So if we could find a good shots and give up the good shots for the great shots and make them, this is gonna be the result.
Yeah, and especially I think it's now I feel like who to trust on, or who I can trust everybody, but who to, like, what the strengths are of different players. Like Pig, he's incredible in transition, so you get to get the ball up ahead. Marcus today, pick and pop was working very well. So just working to our strengths, I think it's made it easy for us.
Time for a couple more, Adam. Coach, you mentioned Mo kind of helping Marcus after practice, encouraging to put in that extra work. To have player leaders like him and to have a team that seems to be very player accountable and taking charge of handling their responsibilities, just how does that ease your burden as a coach?
The best teams I've been on as a player in this thing and coaching has been guys that monitor themselves, that police themselves, that hold each other accountable and push each other, challenge each other, and do it in a constructive way. And that's what Mo has done, and we got great leadership, and the guys, I think, genuinely care about each other and like each other, and so that's a great thing. And it was so evident just being around the guys and seeing them on days off in Hawaii and seeing how they all spend time together. It's great as a coach to have a group of people that like each other and care about each other.
Mo, you and I talked on the island about the things that you saw that the team did that came together. Coach just mentioned it. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about, from the time you landed until the end of this game, like what were the things that manifested itself on the island of the team coming together, and how was practice this week, things like that about just the team?
So just again, like Coach said, we was bonding a lot off the court, and even before all the games, like we would say, like, yo, like we here to win. We just not vacation. It's a business trip. So that's what I was emphasizing to them. Like, we only gonna have fun if we win. You're not gonna have fun if we lose. So, and just when we got back, I told them like that week was over, and that our two weaknesses was interior points and rebounding. And coach told us that we need to work on that, and that's something I emphasized every huddle, every segment. Like, we got to rebound, even if my team not rebounding. It wasn't really about what practice teams is winning this week. It was more about what team wants it more. So it was more so effort this week more than anything.
Anything else? Good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.